Hey everybody, this is Kat Bodkin with Low Country Autism Foundation. I head up the development and I'm so excited to be back here with you guys again. I'm so sorry for the technical difficulties. We've been trying to get Sophia in. Let's see, she's actually might be joining us right now. As she's starting to join, I'm so excited that we're able to do this. Hey, Sophia, can you hear me?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we're live, girl. You just got in. All right.
Woo!
The eagle has landed. Everybody, we're so sorry. I know we are. Oh, let's see.
What's wrong?
Okay, Stacy's telling us she can hear us, so we are good to go.
Thank you, Lord.
It's not live on Zoom if we don't have technical difficulties, right?
I really wish this was a beer right now. I'm going to be honest. It's been a week.
Everybody, thank you for tuning in. I'm so sorry that we are 15 minutes late, so we will do our best to wrap all of this up in 15 minutes. We know that there are several of you joining our community that have just been diagnosed, and we know it's a very scary emotional process. So we're really excited to tell you that we are redesigning our website, and it's actually under construction right now. So if you go to it, you'll be able to navigate it, but we are updating our resources. There's a resources tab, and underneath it you'll find all sorts of helpful information. And I actually printed off our guide so that I can walk, Sophia and I can walk you through it. So this guide will walk you through all the steps right when you've been diagnosed, whether you're under the age of 3 or over the age of 3. So we wanted to go through that. And first, Sophia and I were talking about how difficult it is to navigate telling your family and friends. So we thought that we would kind of open up with that and then get right into all of the information. So Sophia, how did you go through that when you first received your oldest son's diagnosis?
Let's see here. So I remember my friends knew we were going to MUSC that day, and they were texting me, and I was getting text messages at like 5 o'clock, and we were literally just pulling into Bluffton. We had been at MUSC since 8 o'clock that morning. And I told, it was like two of my dearest friends, and they were like, "Are you guys okay? Are you just getting home?" And I said, you know, guys, we did receive an autism diagnosis for Jack. I'm not gonna, I can't talk right now. It's a lot to process. So just bear with me while we process this, and I'll try to reach out to you guys, in the next few days, but don't take it personally. We're just, our hands are full right now, just trying to navigate this whole diagnosis that, we were blindsided by. I think I told you guys that in one of the last Facebook Lives. But I think one of the toughest things was, it was easier for us to tell our friends than it was to tell our family. And we did tell our family. We weren't trying to hide anything from our family, but I think for us, it was really tough when we would say something and our family would immediately come back with us with the comment of, "Oh, he doesn't have autism. Oh, that's wrong. The doctors are wrong. Oh, he was just having a bad day. He somehow the evaluation really wasn't geared towards him." I remember one comment was, do you remember the baby doll, like in that evaluation, how they had to interact with the baby doll? Do you remember that? And I remember one of them said, "Oh, it's a baby doll. Come on, he's a little boy. Why would a little boy want to interact with a baby doll?" It was a lot of that. So I think finally, we just said, "Look, he has autism, and it would be really awesome if you could just be here for us and support us, and that would be great." I remember there were quite a few people who took a step back from us after we told them. And I think it wasn't anything malicious. I think it was just simply they didn't know what to say and they were afraid that they were going to say the wrong thing.
Mhm.
But I'm here to tell you that please don't leave your friends when they have received a diagnosis. Please don't be afraid to reach out to them because it's very lonely. It's incredibly, incredibly lonely, and a lonely feeling. You're very isolated. So one of the worst things that can happen is for your friends to go away, because
Mhm.
they're too afraid that they're going to hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
I remember one of my good friends said to me, Rachel, she said, Soph, I'm here for you. I just need you to tell me what you need because I
Mhm.
don't know what you need. So please just tell us what you need and we are here for you. So, I think we need to remember that unless our dear friends have a child with autism, they can't really have any idea of what we really need. So it is our responsibility to speak up and say, hey, you know what, it would be awesome if you could help me with this. Um, and just try to be patient with them because they really are trying to be kind and loving to
Mhm.
you. And, they may slip up and say something that may not be necessarily the best thing to say, but I guarantee you it's not evil. They're not trying to be malicious. They just simply don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I've seen a few things people will say, I'm sorry. And then people are real quick to say, oh, you'd never tell an autism parent you're sorry, that
Yeah.
their kid has autism. It's take a step back. They
Mhm.
don't know what to say, so don't come out
Yeah.
and attack them.
I
What do you
think
think?
I agree. I think what your friend, I think you said Rachel said,
Mhm.
just simply saying, "What do you need from me?" It's that simple, and so it makes a huge impact on a family and a caregiver that's just receiving a diagnosis and trying to figure out how to not only accept it, but get a support group surrounding you. And
Mhm.
there, of course, are family members and friends that say things that hurt your feelings, and they don't mean it intentionally, but it does.
Right.
But what I have learned in the last few years is, looking back, I wish I would have told my friends and my family sooner, because once I had enough courage to tell them, it was almost like it brought, and I know this isn't the circumstance for everybody, but in my experience, it
Mhm.
brought my family, both on my husband's side and my side, together,
Mhm.
because they realized how much support we needed, and that it was a very difficult change in our life, and that we would need the support of our family. So I wish I would have done it sooner. And as I mentioned on the last live call, my friendships did change, but for the better. Those that didn't understand or didn't want to invest in this type of friendship that would have a lot of differences than what we had before, those kind of fell to the wayside. And now I have different relationships, and I'm meeting new friends that are making a huge impact in my life. And so I would just recommend, as scary as it is, to reach out to those that you trust the most, and they can be a support to you. And at the very least, you can help them know how to talk to you and what you need, and say, I'd really appreciate it if you would say this instead of that. A perfect example, which makes no sense, I know it sounds crazy, but I like for people to say that my child has autism, that he's not autistic. And that is just a personal thing, and some people don't care.
Sure.
So I kind of trained my family to do that. And it's different for everybody how they want things to be discussed and explained. And that's kind of our job as parents and advocates, to teach people around us. And they're going to say things that hurt our feelings, but I think we need to educate the community because they don't know. So, everybody listening to us, Sophia and I have gone through this, and we're at different stages in our situation, but we can come together as moms and be a support to each other, and be a support to all of you caregivers listening. So we're really hoping that these live chats are helping you, and that we're able to provide our experience to help you get through yours. And it's been our goal at Low Country Autism to give every resource that we possibly can. So we're really excited about our website and how you can go to our website and find so many things that you need. So because we kind of ran out of time, it probably will be done by this weekend, but you can take a look at our website. But we'll kind of harp in on the roadmap of if you're over the age of 3 and what steps you should take. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to get a case manager. And one thing that's really helpful that we have on our website now is a dictionary. So it has all of the terms and things that we talk about, so you know what they mean. So if we say something on the call that you're like, what is that? More than likely it's on our little dictionary that's actually already up on our website. So Sophia and I will walk you through this little roadmap checklist. Then the first thing is to get a case manager. What is a case manager? Okay. A case manager is funded by the state. So your little kiddo would get a case manager that is funded by the state. And sorry, I'm looking down, I'm reading this to make sure I'm explaining it well. Who helps the family seek services and get support from the community. So where you will get a case manager is through the Department of Disabilities and Special Needs, DDSN. And the phone number is listed on our website. And I know that there are situations where people get a case manager and they've had a bad experience. It happens. You can get a new case manager. There's a link and a phone number to do that. So you want to have a case manager that fits your family and y'all communicate well and they're a good support to you and they help you with all the paperwork and basically guide you in the direction that you need to go to get all of your services. So do you want to go into, Sophia, the ABA therapy?
Yeah, so for most, not all, but for most children diagnosed with ASD, ABA therapy is where it's at. I can attest to this with both of my boys who have moderate to severe autism. And as far as ABA is concerned, you are going to want to, I would probably call us first to get a listing of reputable providers. Notice I'm saying reputable providers. And we can help you with that as well. And what you're going to need to do is ABA is pricey. So most insurances are not going to cover ABA therapy. So what you're going to want to do, you're going to need to fill out a Tephra application. Tephra is a form of Medicaid based on your child's diagnosis, not on the family's income. Okay, so we've mentioned this before in previous Facebook Lives, but please don't hesitate. That's something that we can help you with. I personally loved using Family Connections. I think it's Family Connections, familyconnectionsc.org. You can go to their website. They're based out of Columbia. You can download the most recent Tephra application, and you can go on from there. I highly, highly advise you to print out 2 copies. Think about a rough draft and a final draft. Then you're going to make an appointment with someone from Family Connections. I would give yourself an hour. If you have to get a babysitter or get some help, do it so that you can stay on the phone for an hour. And you're going to go over every single question to that Tephra application. Okay. Make sure you've got that supporting documents as well, medical records, evaluations, etc. And then you're going to send that in. It will take a few months to hear back whether or not you're going to be approved for Tephra. But there are a few different ways of getting ABA. Obviously, you could just pay straight cash, which I'm going to go ahead and warn you, it is so expensive. The average family spends anywhere from about $15,000 to $20,000 up to $70,000, $80,000 a year, depending on the amount of hours of ABA. therapy that the child needs. Most of us can't afford that. As far as insurance, some private insurances do cover ABA therapy. What you're going to need to look at is, number one, does your company, if you work for a company, does their insurance qualify for Ryan's Law? Ryan's Law in the state of South Carolina is an insurance mandate that I believe it is for businesses that employ over 50 people. Those insurance policies must cover ABA services. I think up to $50,000. So that's something that you need to take into consideration as well. And then lastly, the Medicaid or Tephra. And then we can help direct you, once you do have Medicaid or Tephra, then we can direct you into finding a provider that accepts Medicaid or Tephra, which is, I'm going to be honest, and if we've touched on this a little bit, that can be a little bit tricky these days and times, but there are some providers out there, quality providers, that are accepting Medicaid. So we'll help you with that.
I will say one of the big pieces of advice I have, and I'm just one of those parents that is crazy. I'll be the first to admit I got on while we were waiting for our Medicaid to come back. I got on every single ABA wait list and speech and OT and PT while we were waiting to get our information back if we were accepted for Tephra. And I called and I called and I called, and the wait list is long, but things happen. People move away, caregivers get other jobs. And if you are on top of checking in with these providers on a regular basis, they know you want to get in, they know that you're interested. So it's good to constantly keep calling and checking in. And a lot of times, one of the feedbacks we've gotten is some of the providers will say, well, we follow up with the families and we tell them there's preliminary paperwork that we want them to fill out, and we never receive it. So it is important as a caregiver that if you want to get up on that list, keep calling and fill out that preliminary paperwork to show them that you are serious about that spot. So definitely do that, and just try and stay positive as you're waiting to get a spot. And as Sophia mentioned and explained ABA, every child is different, but we love our ABA clinic and our therapists, and they work well with our son. We also have a speech pathologist, occupational and physical therapist. So it'll be important based on what your child needs to make sure that you're getting on all the wait lists you need to. And again, you can call us at Low Country Autism and we can help send you provider lists based on where you live, because we do cover from Charleston to Hilton Head. So we have Sophia is in the Hilton Head area, and there's a few of us here in Charleston, so we can help set you up with the right list and contact information.
Definitely. There's also some charities, for example. I'll shout out to Children's Relief Fund here in the Bluffton Hilton Head area. For families who are waiting to receive their approval for Medicaid or Tephra, Children's Relief Fund will give these scholarships so that the children can go ahead and start their speech therapy, their occupational therapy, and their physical therapy. And so then once you are approved, then I think there is like a payback. You pay some of that money back. But anyway, so that the child is just not doing anything while you're in that waiting period, they can at least get started into speech, into OT, into PT. So very important. And I love the way that you just said, you got on ABA websites and waiting lists. Definitely don't wait. Get on those lists, get on as many lists as you possibly can. I will also say that some providers do parent training for parents who are not currently, where their child is currently not enrolled in that ABA clinic, just to, give the child something. Okay. So something is better than nothing, but they can do some parent training if you are in a kind of a crisis situation with maybe elopement or some pica or something like that. please call us. Don't hesitate, and we can assist you in finding that type of intervention as well. What else, my love?
Next, there's a couple things, and I know we're going over our time, so hopefully those of you that needed to go have left, but we wanted to go through the document in its entirety before we said goodbye. So the next thing is seeking educational support. So if your kiddo is in a pre-intervention class like my son is, he's in a public school, and it's called the PIC class, or any of your kiddos are in school and you need to seek out educational support, that can be provided through getting an IEP, which is an individualized education plan, or a 504 accommodation plan. And that's when you come together with your school, your teachers, the principal. I think there's several people that would be in your IEP, but you come together to talk about the needs of your child and specific goals. And you would be meeting with this team at least once a year. And that is a very, it's a tedious process, but it's very important. Your IEP is your Bible for your child and the progress of your child. So we can certainly walk you through some of what to do with your IEP, what to expect. And we've actually partnered with a local company here called IEP Answers. Scott Herman started it, and he has a son on the spectrum, and it's his goal to help families be able to understand what the IEP is and the literature in there, and make sure the goals are written appropriately. So it is kind of a intimidating thing, but it's really important to understand it. So you're making sure the goals are appropriate and your child has goals in place to progress in the areas they need to. Do you have anything to add to that, Sophia, before we go on to community support?
I would just say that if you end up needing an advocate for an IEP or a 504 meeting, we can definitely, you can call us and we can refer you to some local advocates. I will also say that ARC of South Carolina, they have an advocacy program to assist in that. And also Family Connections does as well. So don't feel like, if you are in disagreement with what the school team says, we can definitely sit down, take a look at it, and put our heads together and do a collaborative meeting.
Yeah.
And try to do what's best for the child.
I would say that's one of the hardest things that I've had to navigate through, is how to be a good partner with the school, my teachers, and all of that, because I want them to know I'm invested and I support them. But I also want to make sure my son is getting his goals met and nothing's being forgotten. So there's such a fine line between being a really strong advocate and making sure you're supporting and being a good ally of the school. So I think there's lots of ways you can do that, but it can be stressful. So you're not alone, and you can certainly call us with any questions regarding your IEP. And again, you could look into having an advocate, and all of this information is on our website, and we are updating that with more information as we go. So we hope that's a great resource for you. And one really important thing, and it's the last thing on our roadmap, although there's like 20 pages here, so make sure you check out our website, but community support, ways to connect with the community. There are parent groups, and as I mentioned on the last live call, Sophia and I talked about Facebook support groups, both in the Beaufort, Hilton Head area and here. They are instrumental in the beginning after you've gotten a diagnosis, because so many caregivers are on there and they will answer any of your questions. So if you are nervous and you don't want to call the school or you don't want to call us, find a support group on Facebook and look into Ask Your Therapist. There are support groups around. We have support groups. This is kind of one of them, our live, what we're saying, we're Hoda and Jenna coming to you by Low Country Autism. And then as soon as COVID's cases decrease, we're hoping to have our community conversations in person at our coffee shops, and You can join us there for support. So make sure you lean on those that can support you and answer questions, because we all help each other.
Definitely. Most definitely. Don't be afraid to reach out. I got a phone call yesterday. I was on the phone with a new Laugh Mama for an hour and a half, and I will tell you, it was awesome. She needed me just as much as I needed her. So it's please reach out to us. It's a labor of love. We love doing what we do, and we will get you through this. You're not alone.
Absolutely. And just know that we're really trying to improve all the resources we can offer you. So if you check out our website and there's something missing that you think would be helpful and beneficial, please let us know. This is a work in progress for our community, and we just want to help. So we're really excited to see y'all again today, and we look forward to seeing y'all in 2 weeks for another live, and we'll have our technical issues hopefully figured out by then. Take care, everybody, and be safe.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.